Hey everyone, it's Bethany. I have the latest release from Pretty Pink Posh. She sent me over all of the goodies to play with, and I am so excited to show you this month's release. It's so pretty. So I'm going to show you everything that she released, and then we are going to create one card in this video with multiple cards coming up in other videos. So get ready. Everything will be linked down below in case you want to add any of these goodies to your collection. Let's go ahead and see what is in this latest release. It's so pretty. Oh my goodness. Okay, so many beautiful things, but let's go ahead and start with the little shaker fill. There are so many pretty ones this month. And let's see, we have this beautiful little greenery one. I love this, and I love the color of all the little flowers. We have these pretty little balls. Aren't these pretty? I love the pastel and kind of garden tone of them. And then we have more of a cool version with some purples, blues, and greens. And then we have a brown version as well. And this is going to be really fun because we have some teacups in this release. So that would be really fun to add some brown for some teacups. Okay, we do have the upright greetings for this month. I love these, so pretty. And then we have a beautiful stamp set. This is their Simple Thanks. How pretty is this? And I just love these little flowers. You know me, I have been really into flowers lately, and I immediately have my eye on those. As always, I love the scripty words. They're just always so beautiful. And then I have here are the coordinating dies that go right along with those stamps. Okay, then we have this Pretty Pink Posh hummingbird floral. How pretty is this? I love it. And the sentiments say just a little note or thinking of you, hello friend. I love how simple those are. And of course we have the coordinating dies that go with those as well. Super pretty. And I'm loving all of the opportunities for coloring. You know me, I love to color. Okay, here are the sentiments that we have for this month. We have cherish our friendship, you're my favorite, forever friend, you're the best, hello friend, you're an amazing friend. I love that these are more geared towards friendship. I absolutely love making cards for my friends, so I am really loving all of these sentiments. And here are the coordinating dies for those sentiments. So pretty. And then we have the tea time stamps. How sweet. And I have to admit, I have recently become obsessed with tea. I actually went to a ceramics place and painted my own teacup. So I think this is just perfect timing for me. So we have these tea pot and tea cups. We have some yummy little cake and some florals, which is super fun. And then we have the coordinating dies. Okay, we also have these notched squares. How pretty are those? These are really fun for adding some dimension, for creating windows if you want to do a shaker. Love this option, and they are stitched as well, so that just gives a beautiful final touch. Here is a fun idea for a shaker. This is the teacup shaker. So pretty. And then for another shaker, we have the vase shaker. I love that. Okay, then we have some beautiful dies. We have the stitched hummingbirds. So we have some beautiful stitch detail on these little hummingbirds. So sweet. I can just imagine doing so many fun things with color and getting really creative with color with these. We have some spring floral dies. So pretty. Loving these, and I love all of the little stitched elements as well. It's something that's so simple, but it makes such a statement. I am absolutely loving this scalloped pierce plate. I love a nice background die. It is such a simple way to add a little bit of texture, and it's a really great way to add some visual interest without it being too noisy and loud. So I am loving the option of that. And then we have a shadow box. How fun is this? We have a couple additional elements that we can use, but I love this. This is going to be so fun to put together. And I'm also so excited to see what other creators do with this because I feel like this has endless possibilities and can be used year-round with different sets. Okay, for stencils, we have a beautiful teacup stencil. I'm absolutely adoring that. We have a little vine stencil with some flowers. Very pretty. So both are a layering stencil with layering elements. These are really pretty daffodils. Gorgeous. Just love that. And then we have the floral wreath builder. This is so pretty. I love that we have a little wreath element, and then we have some layering things that we can do on top of that. And again, you can notice the beautiful stitched element. So we are going to go ahead and create a fun card today. As always, I will be linking everything that you saw in this release down below. So you can just click on the title of the video and you will see the description box open up and everything will be listed there. All right, let me kind of think on which card I want to start with. There are just so many ones that I would love to make, and then we'll get creative. All right, for this first card, what I want to do is I'm going to use this circle opening because I want to create a fun little window on my card in a circular nature. And what I'm envisioning is bringing in some of these elements and then doing a cute little thank you card. So let's go ahead and start with stamping because I do want to do some coloring, and then I will do my opening and show you where I want to go with that. All right, I am going to use some 80-pound cardstock to stamp out my images. And I am going to use every element. I'm actually going to leave this little leaf there and use the bigger leaves, but everything else will be used to put this together. So I might even do multiples of everything. So what I'll do is I'll stamp all of this on one piece of paper and then I'll do it again. In fact, you know what we could do? We can just turn this paper over and do it on the other side as well. Okay, and I think, gosh, would I need to do it twice or 3 times? I'm kind of thinking 3 times. Yeah, I'm thinking we're gonna need 3. So let's go ahead and start with the first one. I'm going to just prep my stamps by rubbing them with my finger just to help remove any coating that may have been placed on them when they were being created. It just helps to get a good first impression. And then again, since I'm gonna be using a Copic marker, I want to use a ink that plays well with alcohol markers. So I'm going to use this Memento ink, do one stamp, and then we'll do the second. All right, there we go. Okay, now in order to create multiple very quickly, I'm simply just going to turn this around and do the bottom. And again, I do want a third, I believe. Yeah, I think I'm going to need a third for sure, if not a fourth. I think just a third will be good. Oops. Oh, you know what? It's this that's being a stinker. Hold on, let me put that all the way there. Okay. Trial and error. Okay, let me do one more time and I will just go ahead and stamp out a second sheet. And the best thing about this is if I end up not needing all of these images, I can just save them and add them to another card because it's just a simple floral, which is so pretty, but very easy to add to, say, the teacup card. You could have some little floral elements in there as well. Okay, so I want this to be really fun and springy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick 3 or 4 colors. I think I'll do 4 colors. I think I'll do a teal, a lavender, pink, and then let's do like a nice sherbet orange for the flowers. We're just gonna make this beautiful and spring-like. Okay, I believe I started with this sheet first, so I'll go ahead and begin coloring that. I'll list all of the Copics that I'm using down below, but I'm gonna start with my greenery. And for my greenery, I'm gonna do the same on all 2, 4, 6, 8, all 8 little green pieces. So I'm gonna use the combination G20 and then YG61. Again, everything will be listed down below, but I'll start with my lighter color and do all over color on the leaves. This is a really light green. It's so pretty. It kind of reminds me of celery, but we'll also add some really pretty shadows to give it a little boost. Okay, and I am gonna do the whole process one by one. I don't wanna give my green and my ink too much time to dry in between. Okay. I'm going to add my shadow. I think I'm going to go along all of the outer areas. just like that. Okay. And then grab the lighter shade to kind of create that mid-tone again. And you can keep going back and forth with the colors if you want to keep bumping them up. It's completely dependent on the tone that you want to go for. And in fact, I might go back through with my YG61 and I may just add it independently as a boost in shadow at the very end. So we'll see how, oh, this one has a lot more leaves. Goodness, it's nice to have two different ones. It's gonna make it look so organic and beautiful. Gosh, now I'm wondering if I, just because of how fun and full this is, I wonder if I should maybe do something different. This is the part I love about card making, is as I see things kind of come to life, I start getting other ideas of what I'd want to do. So we might actually pivot and do something different. You know what I'm going to do also is I'm loving the look of just adding the marker without the blend. I'm loving that. Yeah, I am. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to go back with the lighter shade, the G20. I'm not going to go back. I'm really liking how that looks. Both look super pretty, but I'm really liking that. All right, so I'm going to go through and just finish up on all of the green pieces. Okay, so all of the greenery is done. So pretty. And actually it is reminding me, we just celebrated Easter, so it's reminding me of Palm Sunday. Doesn't that remind you of all the palms? Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and tuck the green away. And what I'm gonna do next, so I have a kind of a turquoise, a lavender, pink, and then a sherbet. And then I did pull a yellow for the middle of the flowers, but I'm gonna do just each duo in a different color. That way I have a variety so that I can decide what I want to use and I can pull different colors. So what I'm gonna do next is just go through each and every one, and I'll go ahead and get these all pretty. I think what I'll do, in fact, let's start with the BG10, BG11. Is I think I'm going to add my shading towards the middle of the flower. And let's just do one color here. Just like so. That way it kind of looks like darker towards the center, lighter towards the tips of the petal. And because these two colors are super similar, if I do have a color combination that's super close, then I let the first color sit for a bit and then I will add the second color. That way it sits more on top and doesn't sink into the first color. So let me let that just sit for a minute and then I'll add my BG11. Okay, so what I'll do is I'm just gonna go through and add some color to the middle there. And I'll do the same thing on all of them. And I might even double up on this color just a little bit, but I like how that looks. I think that's pretty. Okay, I did double up on that color, and I'll bring back in my lighter shade just to very ever so slightly feather that out and soften that so we have a little bit of a mid-tone. And this will soften as it dries. Okay, I'm also going to pull a white gel pen for later. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and just continue doing the same. I'll add the yellow in a bit, but I'll do my pink, lavender, and orange in those little duos. Okay, I am done. And what I think I'll do for the middle of the flowers is I think I'm gonna bring in a little bit of sequins and have fun just doing a little, I don't know, sparkle in the center. I think it will be just an opportunity to bring some fun little looks. So I'm gonna go through real quick and I'm gonna add a little bit of highlight on some of these flowers. Probably, oh, not everything. And some of the leaves. Okay, I have all of my highlights added, and now I simply get to trim all of these out with the coordinating dies. So I'm going to just cut these all in half and use my beloved little mini trimmer. That way it fits nice in there. Okay, and then I have my tape. As always, like I mentioned last time, something I love, it's so simple, but it thrills me to pieces, is that they have the little highlighted area, outline area, if you will. That way you know exactly where your metal die goes. That way it fits all nice on the, that's not the right one, on your little sheet when you're done. Just takes all the guesswork out. It's simple, but it thrills me. Okay, I will tape all of these down so that they don't move and send them right on through. Okay, mine are fine, but just barely. Make sure that you are giving yourself ample room to place the coordinating die around your images because those coordinating dies are a tad bigger. So luckily mine worked just perfectly, but that'll be a reminder to you to give yourself a little bit more space. Okay, this is arguably one of my favorite parts of card making, is seeing them all cut out. They just, I mean, I don't know, makes them look even better when they're all trimmed out. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and just continue doing that with all of them, and then we'll continue. I'm kind of thinking I might do something totally different. All right. Got my final set done. To bring those all out. All right, now what I want to do, oh gosh, this is so pretty. All right, let's see where we're at. I'm at 45 minutes. we're right here, but that's okay, because I don't think the rest of it's gonna take that long, but if it does, it was well worth it. Okay, let me think which direction I want to take the card. So I'm gonna bring in a panel. I'm also going to bring in my paper trimmer real quick, and I'm going to bring it down to 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, and then what I was thinking of doing is maybe having all of these just kind of peek from the side and then trim them off. But let me see, I just kind of want to lay it out first to see what that would look like. Okay, I am really liking this idea. And then tucking all of the kind of green, or I'm sorry, the color in, kind of tying it all in as well, but then having the center, I want all of these to be bumped up, so we'll have a lot of dimension. But then in the center, I will have my thank you. So I think I'll stamp that down first so that I know where I want everything else. But I think this could be super pretty. Just bringing in a lot of dimension, and then we'll also bring in a lot of color as well in just a minute. Okay, I'm loving this, but I want to see my other idea kind of come to life as well. So what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to bring this floral wreath builder stamp set in because I simply want to use that circular die. So bringing that die in, I want to create an opening here, kind of in the upper top area. Okay, let me run this through my Platinum 6 because it's bigger, and we're just simply going to cut a circle out in the middle. Okay, so then I have my opening here. So my original idea was to have the greenery kind of in a wreath-like form. And then, you know, just kind of peeking out from this circular part, come here, and kind of having fun building this up like so, and then having the thank you in the middle. And I kind of think I'm gonna do that. That was my original idea. And I can also, gosh, I can have fun with all the color. Oh, I'm really liking this idea. It's a little bit more clean and simple for me. So what I'm going to do is, I think I want to add, I guess I could do thanks as well to keep it even smaller. So why don't let's do this. Let's stamp the sentiment on a paper here. All right, I'm also going to just trim down the panel to be the exact same size. So I had it 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, and then I'll be able to layer these one on top of the next so I can just get it all centered. Okay, I think I will go with the thanks because then I will have more room to bring in my floral elements. I think that'll be super pretty. So I'll do thanks right in the middle there. Let's make sure these are both, I'm just nervous. I gotta just make sure that they're both all aligned. Okay. There they go. Okay. Thanks goes right in the middle. And you could do this with embossing powder if you'd like. That would be super pretty as well. I'm just keeping this super simple with a nice black ink. Okay, I'll use that same ink. And my little floral images are right under that window, so that's why you can kind of see those there. Okay, thanks. Oh, that's so pretty. Love these scripty words. Make the card just gorgeous. Okay, now we can have some fun placing our elements. So what I think I'm going to do is I might leave this right in my MISTI and just tape it down. That way I can just kind of keep hovering over. So let's bring all of these little goodies over here and just start. You know what I could do actually is have it just start doing on this paper, right? I think so, because then I can really see, and then I can just add my circular piece when I'm ready. Okay. We can do something also like this. All right, so I'm liking that. Oh, that's pretty. And now let's bring in some color. And I already know I'm not going to use all of that, which is just fine. Oh, I was actually using a lot of the double ones. I can bring some singles in here too. And I don't want it too methodical because I can tend to do that. But I think that, oh, that's pretty. I think that once we get this here too, it removes a lot of that methodical look. Okay, now this is going to be kind of tricky because what I want to do is, I'm loving this. I think that looks gorgeous. So what I want to do next to ensure this placement, because we're going to make it, we're going to bring just a little bit more fun here. So I'm going to grab some tape, and what I want to do is just kind of solidify where everything is. And actually, let's move this little guy up just a little bit. Okay, so what I'll do is just kind of lightly tape everything into place. I know, I seem like I have lost my marbles, but I just want everything to stay put where I've placed it. Okay, so now when I take it up, oops, I need one more. It's looking like a mess, but I think I know what I'm doing. Okay, when I bring it up, then it's all gonna be on this piece, because now what I wanna do is I wanna add foam tape to the back of this, because then we can have this kind of bumped up and create some fun dimension, right? Or do I just want it flat? Maybe I will do it flat because I kind of think that's super pretty like that. without, yeah, I just think it kind of keeps it nice and bright to not have the shadow. So this is actually still good that I did this because I can turn this around and then I can just start gluing all of these pieces. So let's go ahead and remove all of this at this point. Okay. And on the back here, I can just start gluing, but you know what I'll do is in order to ensure these pieces stay put, I'll just add a little tape back here because I don't think I'll see that through my cardstock. Nope, it looks good. But let me just secure these little guys. Just a little insurance. Okay. And also this little one that's peeking out will go like that. Okay, so now that we have that all arranged there, I'm going to simply add liquid glue. So we can get everything all solidified in here. Okay, so I'll add liquid glue to all of these pieces and then also to the actual panel. And then I'll bring my MISTI right back in because we can use that just like we did earlier for alignment. So let's tuck this right in the corner. We'll bring this right on in. Tuck it in the corner as well to line it up. And press that on down. Okay, press all those pieces in there, remove that, and then I will very ever so gently just remove the tape so that we can see that final look. And I might need to go through and also glue a little piece down, you know, underneath some of the flowers. We can do that. Just gives it a really fun kind of circular look, which I am loving. Okay, how pretty. And then we'll put this on a nice colored card base, so that looks really neat. Okay, so let's do our card base and then we are going to dress this up a bit. And I'm wondering, would it be cute or would it ruin? I think it would ruin it to bring anything additional around it. No, because I really like that crisp circle that we have going on. Okay, and I think I will use this beautiful kind of peach color. I think that will be so pretty. And then let's go ahead and make the card base. So I have 11 by 4 1/4. I want it to fold at the top, so I will score that at 5 1/2, fold, and press that down. Okay, so there is my A2 card, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I'll add some foam tape to the back of this panel because that's where we'll add our little bit of dimension. Okay, I have my foam tape right on the back. Add a little magnet to help support that. All right, and with the backs removed from our adhesive, we will just lay this right on down. Right there. Ooh, pretty. That is so pretty. Okay, while I'm thinking of it, I'm going to just kind of, oh, no, that one's good. There were a couple I thought that just needed an additional dose of glue behind them. Actually, that did pretty well. Add some and stick those down. Okay, this is where I want to add the sparkle. And I'm going to add this little aura up, or I could do the peach. Actually, the really tiny peach would be so pretty. Let me do the peach. Yeah, that brings in some warm tones. And I'm going to put those on all of the middles of my flowers. This is where we'll get a little bit more texture and dimension, but the sparkle is going to be so worth it. Isn't that pretty? Oh my goodness, I am loving this. Look at the sparkle. It was just the final little touch that just made that card so fun. And again, you could add the foam tape behind the greenery and the florals to make this have some more dimension, but I really like how clean that looks, just having it flat on the card and then adding the dimension with the entire card panel. So that is where I took this card. Again, that came out of this tiny little stamp set. There are so many fun things that you could do with this. Again, I kind of mapped out another idea that I had, but I'm happy I went with my original idea. I'm loving that we have this negative white space. I just think it makes it look so clean and simple, and I love how it makes it look like just a natural little circle. So I'm loving this. Hopefully you loved it as well. Okay, we are at 1 hour and 10 minutes. Not too bad. There was a lot of coloring and a lot of cutting and all of the above. So this was super fun. Everything will be listed down below in terms of supplies. So be sure to check that out to see everything I used to bring this card together. And I'll see you guys next time.